Establishing a startup has its risks, more so investing in one. But a network of private investors says the startup ecosystem in the country has reaped a lot of gains over the years. Joining us now is the Executive Director of the Manila Angel Investors Network, Quenby Go. Quenby, thank you so much for joining us. We've seen a significant growth of the local startup system in the country, but the big question is there enough funding?
Definitely there is enough funding, especially in the Philippines, only because the Philippine startup ecosystem has gone through, as you said, significant growth the last few years. In 2021 alone, we've already reached $1 billion US. And in the first 2 months of this year alone, we've already reached $310 million US in investment in startups. So there is money in the Philippine ecosystem. And there are still people who are willing to invest in startups. Us in Maine, a lot of our investors are still looking for startups to invest in as we speak.
All right. How many members does the Manila Angel Investors Network have at the moment?
We're over 100. We're about 119 as of yesterday.
And how many are local and how many are foreign investors?
Local, we have about maybe 75% is local, then 25% are foreign nationals.
So 119 members who invest what kind of amount in different kinds of startups?
Okay, so for one, in Maine, since we have 100 members, all the members are encouraged to invest about 1 million pesos a year. So imagine that's about 100 million pesos in deployable funds for all these startups. Because of that, we also find ways to introduce startups to all our members. They come to us because they know that we have a good network of high net worth individuals, corporations. Right. So they continue to continue to attract in Maine the startups, and we send them to our members for investment.
And Quenby, in how many startups has Maine already invested in?
To date, we're at about 23 startups. Yeah.
And what kind of startups are these 23 companies?
Right now, we have fintech. We also have in entertainment. We have Kumu, if you're familiar with that app right now that a lot of influencers use. Maine is also an investor in Kumu. We also have food tech. We have health tech. These are the startups that we're investing in.
And how many out of these 23 companies have so far succeeded and gotten additional funding?
Right now, because we are angel investors, we don't really do follow-up rounds. We only do pre-seed, seed, and Series A funding. So how many have succeeded? It's a long-term investment. But right now, we have a couple of companies, like I mentioned, Kumu, who we've invested in, who's already doing their Series C, Series D round.
Okay, but Kumu is just one company. There are thousands of startups here in the Philippines. So there are more failures than successes?
Yes, of course. Maybe 9 out of 10 startups actually fail because, it is a high-risk investment, and a lot of startups are actually struggling to find the right combination of financial models and scalability and marketing arms to be able to succeed. So and of course, it is a high-risk investment.
Yeah, it's a high-risk investment. So your angel investors, your 119 members, get into this startup with open eyes that they may lose their 1 million pesos.
They may lose their 1 million pesos, but they also know that the chance right now, especially the Philippines, it's a growing ecosystem for startups. It's still very promising. Connecting promising early stage companies to investors is still something that we do, and the members are still coming.
All right. So if they invest 1 million pesos at the minimum in a startup, do these angel investors help out in mentoring these startup members?
So yes, we do. When they come to us in Maine, we don't only screen them, but if they're not yet pitch ready, we actually offer mentoring hours free free of charge to those who would like to avail of it. And these mentoring hours are meant to help these startups grow. We want to make sure that they prepare a very good pitch deck, that they fix their financial models, they know the solution to the problem that they're trying to solve, and then that they can give investors, they know their ask, what they need the money for,
Right.
and they can give the investors a good return.
Well, that's good. That's good. So they can grow also and scale up their business. But most of these startups seem like they're in Metro Manila. Are we also seeing startups? Are you also looking at startups in the provinces, in the rural areas? Is there potential there?
There's so much potential in agriculture, in the different industries. But of course, their main business will be in the Philippines if they want to be able to scale. The reason being, of course, the money would be mostly in the bigger cities like Metro Manila, Cebu, in Mindanao. So it's still the bigger cities that will be able to give them the funding that they need and have the technology to be able to make their startups grow.
So, Quenby, what are your tips for those who are thinking of starting their own startup?
My tips are really quite simple. They, of course, have to do their research. They have to identify the gap in the market. Two, they have to, of course, collaborate with people with the same passion and interest so that, they know what's out there that will provide a solution to the problem that they're trying to solve. They have to, three, find a trustworthy source of funding. Make sure that it's not somebody who's going to give you a hard time once they invest in you. Four,
And if they fail, Quenby, do you advise them to start all over again, start with a new idea?
No, but they have to be able to pivot. They have to be able to know where they went wrong, and they have to be able to know how to pivot and move to the direction that they can be more successful in.
Quenby Go, thank you so much for joining us, Executive Director of the Manila Angel Investors Network.